Everyone, this is Evan Langert with the Langert Commercial Group, and I would like to talk to you today about the different kinds of leases that you'll find out there in the marketplace. They can be, frankly, pretty overwhelming. You go out there, you're trying to lease space, and you hear terms like triple net and absolute triple net and net and gross and full service and modified gross. And good Lord, what do all these things mean? It just confuses people. So I want to just do a little primer here to introduce you to the types of leases that are out there in the marketplace, hopefully give you a little bit of a better handle on what there is out there and what you're looking at. First of all, pretty much all these terms pertain to who's paying the operating expenses on a property. So with any office building, any industrial property, any shopping center, we would all agree that there are real estate taxes that have to be paid on those properties. We would also agree that there are insurance costs that have to be paid on those properties. You got to have fire and extended coverage so that if the building burns down or is damaged, that you can get it built up again. You got to have commercial general liability in case there's a slip and fall or other accident or something at your property, that there's insurance policy in place for somebody to get redress, and there are a number of other insurance policies. Third thing is we would all agree that there are operating expenses for the maintenance and repair of a property. You have to sweep the streets. You've got to remove the snow when it gets there. You've got to light the parking lights. You've got to repair the parking lot and the other common areas of sidewalks, or in an office building, the elevator or the common area has to get cleaned, all that sort of stuff. And that all costs money. So what this boils down to is who's going to pay for that? Is it going to be the landlord or is it going to be the tenant? So let's kind of make believe here that we've got three spaces that we're looking at. They're all $35 a piece per square foot, base rent, just to make this an even example. However, one is a triple net lease. The other is a gross lease, or also called full service lease. And then there's one in the middle called a modified gross lease. And so here's how they all differ. We start off with the base rent. In each of those three cases, the rent's going to be $35 a square foot. So on its front, all these three spaces are going to cost the same amount of money, assuming that the spaces that you lease are the same size. However, now we go over to the expenses. The triple net, and these terms are used differently in different parts of the country, so this is a generalization. But the triple nets, I use the acronym TIM to describe them. T is for taxes or real estate taxes. I is for insurance. We've already gone over some of the insurance types that you're going to have with a given property. And the M is for maintenance. Sometimes that's called CAM, which is also known as common area maintenance. But that's for the maintenance and the repair of the property and the common areas in the property. So with the triple net lease, it's the TIM, taxes, insurance, and maintenance, that are the triple nets. Now in a triple net lease, those are all paid by the tenant. So if you're a tenant and you're paying $35 a square foot for your space, you are also going to pay your proportionate share of TIM, the taxes, the insurance, and the maintenance. If you have 10% of the property, you're going to pay, in addition to your $35, your 10% of all the project taxes, all the project insurance, and all the project maintenance. That's triple net. On the other side of the coin, we have what's called a full service lease, or a base year lease, or a gross lease. And these are more prevalent in office. Triple net's more found in the shopping center and retail realm, and some in the industrial realm. Full service gross is more in the office realm. So you've got your $35 that you're paying. In most cases, that's all you're going to pay for the first year. You're not going to pay any taxes, you're not going to pay any insurance, and you're not going to pay any maintenance. So we go through the first year of your lease, and we find out what the expenses are going to be for taxes, for insurance, and for maintenance. And that's a dollar amount. Whatever that is for the building, that's a dollar amount. And that dollar amount becomes your base year dollar amount. So you just kind of take that number, just to pick a number out of a hat. Let's just say it's $100,000. Well, the next year, are you going to pay anything? Maybe. If those expenses are $100,000 again next year, you're still not going to pay anything. However, if they increase to $110,000, there's been an increase of $10,000. So you're going to pay your portion. Let's say, for our example, that you've got 10% of that property as well. You're going to pay 10%. However, unlike the shopping center where you're paying 10% of all of those costs, you're only going to pay your 10% of the increase. So in this case, 10% of that $10,000 or $1,000. So those are the two leases on the opposite side of the spectrum. In the middle, we have what's called a modified gross lease. And that means different things in different situations. You really have to ask, what expenses am I going to pay if I'm a tenant? Modified gross means that it's gross except for there are things that aren't gross. So in other words, it's gross, but it's modified gross net electric, means that it's otherwise a gross lease, but the tenant's going to pay the electric. Or net of electric and janitorial, the tenant's going to pay the electric and the janitorial, and everything else is going to be a gross lease. So there are some other forms of some of these leases. For instance, a triple net that covers taxes, insurance, and maintenance. However, what happens if something goes wrong with the roof of a building or with the structural components of a building? So that would be the landlord's responsibility. Depending on what your lease says, everything's individual, but typically that would be the landlord's responsibility. But an absolute triple net means that the tenant is going to be responsible for everything. So I'm thinking of, say, a freestanding Dollar General, or some other fast food or fast casual place that might have an absolute triple net lease. The tenant is going to pay everything. So if their roof has a problem, the tenant is going to pay it. If the structural issues appear in the property, the tenant's going to, the tenant's going to pay that as well. So that is on the far end. On an absolute triple net lease, the tenant's paying absolutely everything, the landlord's paying nothing. So anyway, I hope this was not confusing and that it really kind of cleared things up. I'm happy to take your questions individually and answer your questions individually. And again, this is never intended to give out legal or brokerage advice, even though I'm both an attorney and a broker, because every situation is different. If you want to talk about your situation in particular, please give me a call. I am at 443-529-0505, 443-529-0505, or you can email me at elangert at the Langert Group. That's elangert at the Langert Group. Elangert is ELANGERT as in Thomas. So as always, have a great day, be safe, and God bless.